Your story is your competitive advantage. Why you do what you do, where you came from, your history, all of the baggage, the imperfections, the vulnerability, all of that, your story is the thing that's going to help you win as an entrepreneur. This is one of the biggest misconceptions and one of the hardest things for us to do as entrepreneurs, to put ourselves out there and share the story. We want to be perfect. We see these big brands. We see people popping off on Instagram and their perfect life and their perfect planes and their perfect marketing. And we feel not good enough and we feel like we have to be like them, but people can smell through it. Think about it. You're going up against some big company, right? Whatever industry you're in, there's some big players. More established than you, bigger budgets than you, deeper pockets than you. They've been there forever. They've got the brand name, the history, the reputation. People know who they are, and you're going up against them. Why would somebody buy from you instead of them? Because of your story. Because you're going to make me feel special. Because in you, I see myself. I see somebody who cares. I see somebody who's going to go off and make a difference where I have no connection to big company, to a big corporation. But what most entrepreneurs do is they try to look the part of being the big corporate. They have a really formal website. They have a really formal photography. They have a really formal bio. At best, you're going to be a junior version of that big company. I need to know why you do what you do. This is how you win. Your heart is your competitive advantage. Why do you care so much? And if you believe, like I believe, that your purpose comes from your pain, that whatever you're doing right now, your deep purpose is to help other people who currently are who you used to be, then I need to know what pain you've come through. Because you might have the answers, you might have the solution, your product, your service, your coaching, your content, whatever, could actually be the solution. But until I know that you've come through the thing that I'm struggling with, I'm not going to listen to you, because I'm going to think, yeah, right, this person doesn't get it. This person doesn't understand me. This person doesn't care. Meanwhile, you do care. Meanwhile, it's the most important thing. Meanwhile, you care way more than anybody else cares. But until you actually share your story, nobody's going to listen. This is one of the hardest things for me to overcome when I started my business, because I always felt, well, nobody cares about my story. Like, who cares? It's not about me. I have no need to be in front of a camera. I'm introverted and shy by nature. I know you may not believe that in watching these videos, but I am. And I remember fighting with my agent, Steve, many times. Steve, nobody cares about what I've done and my story, and I don't like the spotlight on me, so why does it matter? And after years of fighting, and hopefully what took me forever to figure out, if you guys get this in this video, you'll be way further ahead than I was when I was getting started. People learn through your story. And if you've got a message, you telling your story actually perpetuates the message. So you telling your story is not about you and your ego and how you look and how people see you and prizes and awards and anything. It's about making an impact. Because when I know that you've been through what I'm going through, or I know how much you care about something, I'm much more likely to want to hire you. So let me give you a couple examples. I remember I was doing a radio show, and when I first got started in coaching, it was through a live radio show that I was doing once a week. I remember one person calling in, and he had a landscaping business. And I asked, okay, well, what's so different about your landscaping company? Because he was frustrated that all of these teenagers and high school kids were eating up his business. Where he say, hey, we'll landscape your yard and we'll do it for minimum wage. And here he is trying to make more than minimum wage. And he's worried that he has to compete on price and he can't do it against these teenagers. And so I said, well, why do you care so much about landscaping, man? Like, why did you pick this business? And I hope for all of you, please, that you have a story, right? If you're picking a business just to make money, you've lost already. You've lost. That the entrepreneur success formula is you got to combine what you love doing with what brings value to other people. You have to love it. You have to have a story. If there's no story, you've lost. Go pick something else that you actually can't connect to. But I asked him, why did you start this business? What does it mean to you? And he said, my mom was my hero. And when I was young, she always took me out to the yard and we did landscaping together. And it's always a connection to her. And then there was a line that he said that really caught me, where he said, every lawn that I go to, every customer's lawn that I go help, I treat it like it's my mom's lawn. And right there is like, oh my gosh, this guy cares so much. Like, do you think the average high school, after school, summer job, do you think they care as much about your yard as this guy does, right? If he's treating it like it's his mom's garden? And by sharing that story now, you'd be willing to pay more. I'd be willing to pay him way more than a high school kid, because I think that he's going to give a way better service, provide way more value, because I understand the story. But if I just went to the website and I looked at his services and I go to some giant corporation who does it, or I go to see some teenager who does it, the websites are going to look pretty similar. The services are going to look pretty similar, but the heart and soul is the thing that's missing. That's why he's going to give the best value compared to the other extremes. Same thing for you. You love the thing that you're doing. I hope. If not, find something else. You love the thing that you're doing. I need to understand your passion. I need to see it. And you're afraid of not looking good on camera. You're afraid of not being articulate. That doesn't matter. I'm not hiring a landscaping company based off of how professional their video is. Often the more professional it is, the worse it is. Because when there's big lights and cameras and setups and everything else, you get a lot more nervous. Like, oh my gosh, you got all these people watching me, I better deliver. And then you end up giving a really boring, fake, nervous, scared, anxiety version of your story that nobody's going to connect to. Take out your phone and press record. I don't care if there's background music or lower thirds or the perfect lights or microphone if you're a landscaping company. Now, if you're a videographer, your stuff better be on fire. It better be on point, because I'm hiring you to produce video. But if you're a landscaping company or something totally different, has nothing to do with video production, the most important thing is for you to be able to get your story out there, to be creative, to be authentic, to imagine that there's somebody here that you're talking to instead of just a camera, to get your message out there. That is why people will buy from you. That is why people will connect with you. That is why people will listen to you, because they feel like you deeply, 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 deeply care about this thing. And I know you do, but it's just not anywhere. I can't find it on your social. I can't find it on your YouTube. I can't find it on your website. I can't find it anywhere. Not the heart, because you're trying to be perfect and professional like big corporation. Your story is your competitive advantage. One of the things that really helped me was leaning into the fact that I'm shy and introverted and afraid to get in front of the camera and afraid to get on stage and no need to be famous. That's led to actually a lot of opportunities. The more I lean in on those things, the more things come to me. I remember doing a speech at Brendan Burchard's growth event, and I wasn't as myself. I was more professional. I was more just giving advice. It was great advice. People loved it. And then he invited me back to speak at his private mastermind. And now these groups are paying $30,000 to $50,000 to be in that room. So now there's a higher pressure, like the first one, the ticket was maybe $100. The ticket to this one is $30,000 to $50,000. Like, oh my gosh, extra pressure. And I just leaned in on it. I walked up on stage and I came after Dean Graziosi. So Dean spoke and then it was me. And Dean was using the Flipboard. There's like a paper beside you and you're flipping one page at a time. And I'd never used a Flipboard in any of my presentations. I've had PowerPoint in the past, or I normally just get up and talk, but I thought, okay, I'm going to try to use the Flipboard. And I didn't know how to use it. I always felt like I was blocking somebody, so I'm hiding behind the Flipboard trying to write it. And it ended up being really funny. And Brendan took me aside after, and he said, that was the best. That was so much better than you did in Arizona at my first event. And Arizona was great, but you need to lean in on your goofiness. You need to lean in on your shyness. You need to lean in on the things that make you nervous. If you're nervous, say you're nervous. If you have anxiety, say you have anxiety. I'd led with something like that. It's like, I'm scared. I'm an introvert. I'm shy, and I've got my heart beating like crazy right now, standing up here in front of all you guys. That's how I led my speech, something like that. And so leaning in on that has helped me. It's a lot more real. Yeah, it's a lot more real. So you don't feel like you have to be fake. You can just lean in on the thing that makes your heart go crazy like this. Lean in on it. If you were to make a video to say, I want to tell you my story. If I go back to the landscaping company, I want to tell you why I do what I do. And normally I hate making videos, and this makes me really anxious and nervous, and I'm scared to do this, but landscaping is just so important. It's so important to me because, and then you tell the story with the mom, wouldn't you want to hire that person? Wouldn't you want to pay more for that person, right? So leaning in on your story, on the thing that you're worried that you're going to get judged for, is the way that you're going to win. Your story is your competitive advantage. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to go up against these big corporations and feel like you have to be fancy like them, where all you're doing is being boring, being vanilla, and being a junior version of them. Your story is your competitive advantage. You need to start getting it out there. The thing that makes you go boom, 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 boom like that, that's what you have to share. And that's how you start to win. If you want another Evan rant video that just might give you the confidence you need, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. Having an infinite mindset comes from you wanting people to win more than you want them to win with you.